Good morning, everybody. So, remember how I promised last week that we would do nonfiction this week? So, does anybody remember what nonfiction means? So, when we think about the word non, what are we thinking? Non is the same as not, and fiction is the same as fake. So, when we talk about nonfiction, we talk about things that are not fake. Do you remember that? So if something is not fake, that must be real. So when we read nonfiction books, we're talking about information. These are great books that teach us about information. So today I have a very exciting theme for us. It is space. This week is very important for us. I got this from Mr. Nielsen. He sent it to me. So these are the events in May, and we'll go over them each and every day this week. So today, May the 4th be with you if you're a fan of Star Wars. Where's my Star Wars guy? He's somewhere. Oh, I don't know where he is, but we do have a Star Wars character somewhere around here. So it is Star Wars Day. May the 4th be with you. So today is the Eta. I'm not so sure if I can pronounce this right. Aquarids meteor shower. Okay. So, and I was looking at some information online about this, and I really can't tell if we'll be able to see it in our area or not. I mean, I saw some simulation and I didn't understand it. I'm going to be honest. But so today is a meteor shower. Now, this meteor shower has to do with Halley's Comet, which is a comet that comes through every 75, 76 years. So the last time it was around and we saw it come past was in 1986. We won't see it again until 2061. And so I'm not going to be able to be around to see it. Maybe you guys will be, though. Okay. So today is the meteor shower. And then on May 7th, and we'll talk about this, is a milk moon. And it's the last supermoon of 2020. So we'll talk about what that is on May 7th. May 12th, which will be coming, it's going to be the close approach of the moon, Jupiter, and Saturn in the sky. Isn't that cool? And then on May 27th, which is the end of the month, the comet, and we'll talk about comets too, Comet Swan is going to be visible to the naked eye. So we'll be able to look up in the sky and see this comet, just like Halley's Comet that flew by. We'll be able to see it going past us, which will be really exciting. But going back to last night, okay, so we see the close approach of the moon, Jupiter, and Saturn. And Patrick and my son explained something to me. When you see lights in the sky that flicker, those are stars. If it's a steady light, then it is a planet. So last night, as we were sitting out after a very long day of working in the garden and such, we were looking up at this. And so you can kind of see it. It's over my garage. And Mr. Nielsen took out his phone and he held it up, and he has this thing called Star Map app. And this was the planet Venus. So Venus is very prominent in the sky right now. It's really cool to see. So when you go outside tonight, I want you to ask Mom and Dad, which way is west? Okay. So east is going towards Lake Michigan. West is going the opposite way. So if you look out into the western sky, you might see Venus tonight. And it was very exciting. I enjoyed it. So guess what our subject is? Our subject is the solar system. Yay. And if you notice on this book, we have green for our primary readers, but we have yellow. And this yellow tape that we see here tells us that this is a non-fiction book. Yay. And we have Exploring Space. This is the series, Exploring Space. So every book that we're going to look at, when I left them all upstairs, will say Exploring Space. But the name of this book, the title of this book, is The Solar System. Okay. Are you ready to read it with me? I'm really excited about this. We could do the front cover, back cover, spine. Let's just start reading. Okay. And here's our title page. So now this is by a person named Colleen Sexton. And are we going to necessarily maybe see drawings in here? Will we see pictures in here? What do you think we're going to see? Let's go through. And then she had some consultants. Now, a consultant is somebody you ask questions about. Since this is very important, this is information, she asked some consultants. So there was a Dwayne Quam. He's got MS, Masters of Science in Physics, if you're interested in science and math. He's also the chair of the Minnesota State Academic Science Standards and Writing Committee. So you know that this has got information in it. And it says here, do you remember what this is called? We talked about this. This was called our table of contents. And if you remember, this told us what things were going to be. We could look at this and we can see what subjects or what topics were going to be covered. And what is this? 4, 7, 17, 20, 22, 23, 24. Do you remember what those are? Those are the, I think you're yelling at me, probably saying page numbers, Mrs. Nielsen. Get with it. And the other interesting thing is here we can see, so we've got what is the solar system, planets and moons, asteroids and comets and meteoroids beyond the solar system. Then we actually have a section called the Glossary to learn more and an index. At the end, I'm going to ask you what those things are, and I bet you're going to know because you guys are so smart. So, the solar system. Make it nice and close. The solar system is the sun and all the objects that move around it. The sun is a star that gives off light and heat. It is the largest object in the solar system. So here we have the solar system. Here we have the sun in the middle. And these things, these objects going around, what are some of these objects called? I hope you're saying planets. The sun's gravity is strong. It pulls on the surrounding objects so they do not move away. There are 8 planets in the solar system. Each planet travels around the sun in its own orbit. So you see these lines, there really aren't lines in space. They're just showing you these lines. This is a drawing, if you will. These are probably real pictures of the sun, I'm thinking, and of the planets, but these lines are just drawn. So now, when I was growing up, and maybe when your parents were growing up, I don't know, maybe definitely your grandparents, we used to say there were 9 planets, but they've since changed that. So they're saying that there's 8 planets. So if your mom and dad is sitting here going, what is Mrs. Nielsen talking about? There are 8 planets now. And the gravity, that stuff that pulls us down to the earth, that keeps all these planets in line and close to the sun so they don't drift off into space. Here we're going to go through our 8 planets. Are you ready? Mercury, that's the one that's closest. Mercury is a rocky planet that moves fast. It zooms through space at 104,000 miles per hour. Boys and girls, that is super fast. So it goes zooming through space, around the sun, around the sun, around the sun. It's really rocky, though, and you don't see any plants or anything. If it's really close to the sun, what do you think it might feel like? It might be really, really, really hot. I think so. Venus, this is the planet I saw last night, and you can see tonight too. Venus is the planet with the hottest surface. So there we go. We thought we said thought Mercury was going to be hot, but guess what? Venus is hotter. It has a thick atmosphere that holds in the sun's heat. We have an atmosphere on our Earth, and so that holds the heat in. And so you see that red rock. When you see that red rock, you know that that's Venus. Earth. Have you ever heard of this planet? I hope so. Earth is just the right distance from the sun. It is not too hot or too cold. People, animals, and planets can live on the Earth. And there we are. Oh, and that reminds me of something else I have to tell you about. Mars is a cold, red-brown planet. It has rock plains and canyons, melted rock called lava, once flowed from the planet's huge volcanoes. Again, you see that red kind of dusty brown rock. So at one point, Mars had huge volcanoes. Now we're getting to Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. These are the planets that are farthest from the sun. These giant cold planets are made of gases. Anybody want to take a guess why these planets are so cold? I'm hoping you're saying because they're far away from the sun. Rings made of rocks, dust, and ice circle each of these giant gas planets. So there are actually rings around Jupiter and Saturn and Uranus. You can't really see them. It's very faint, but they're there. And Neptune. Dwarf planets are smaller than planets and share their objects with other objects. Share their orbits, with other objects. So here's what I grew up as going, this was the 9th planet, and maybe your moms and dads or grandmas and grandpas, we always said Pluto. But there's also Aries and Ceres there. So Pluto, Aries, Pluto, and Ceres are some of the dwarf planets in the solar system. They are made of rock and ice. Now, moons. The moons are objects that travel around the planets and the dwarf planets. Earth's moon is one of more than 300 moons in the solar system. Now, we only have one moon, but there are planets that have more than one moon, have many moons. Millions of asteroids circle the sun between Mars and Jupiter. These large space rocks can be hundreds of miles wide. So I can't know if you see it right here. This is the asteroid belt that comes between, there we have Mars. Okay, again, the red planet. And there we have Jupiter. And so there's this big band of asteroids. Comets. Remember, we're going to see a comet at the end of May 27th. And then today is going to be the dust that we see from that Halley's Comet. So comets make long oval orbits around the sun. These small balls of ice and dust have glowing tails of gases when they are near the sun. Pieces of asteroids and comets are meteoroids. I have a hard time saying that word. Meteoroids that reach the Earth heat up and glow as they fall through the atmosphere. So here's one coming towards Earth. Now, these things don't come down all the time. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to walk out of your house like Chicken Little and go, the meteoroid is coming. The meteoroid is coming. It doesn't happen. You'll be okay. Something more about space. We do have space telescopes out there. Now, astronomers. Does anybody know what an astronomer is? It's a person who studies the sky, studies the stars, the planets, the moons. Astronomers use powerful space telescopes. The telescopes can take pictures of objects beyond our solar system. So they can use these telescopes, just like I could use a telescope to see something very, very far away. They can use these space telescopes to see things that are out of our solar system. Astronomers are searching for other solar systems. They hope to find a planet like Earth. Now remember, Earth is the only planet that has an atmosphere and that is not too cold or too hot. It's just the right distance. So they're trying to find another planet like Earth. And here is our glossary. So asteroids, space rocks, astronomers, scientists who study space and objects in space, atmosphere, comets, dwarf planets, gravity, meteoroids, orbit, planets, space telescopes, star, and volcanoes. And here, if you wanted to know more about it, here are some books and here are some websites. And I'm going to put these on our page. I'm going to make sure that they're all good, and then I'll go to those. Okay, it's just a fact surfer page. I'm not so sure how good it is, but I'm pretty sure it's good. Okay, and then we have some repair work needed in this book, but then we have our index. Do you remember when we talked about the index, everybody? These are the very specific topics or subjects. So if I want to know about comets, I may look at page 18 or 19. Or if I want to know about Venus, who I want to look at in the sky again tonight, Venus is on page 9. So the glossary, the things to learn, and the index are always at the back of the book, whereas we have our title of the page and our table of contents at the front of the book. Well, so I hope you enjoy the solar system. I hope you will go out tonight and look up. You're going to have to wear a jacket. It's got cold again. We'll put on that jacket, go outside, look to the west to see if you can find the planet Venus. It's going to be really bright, boys and girls. It was super bright last night. And it was out pretty early. It wasn't dark yet outside yet. So look for Venus, and I don't know, look for this aqua red meteor. I guess I got to learn to say it better. But we'll look for that. And I can't find it here. There we go. So remember to look for that one. So it's the Eta Aqua Red Meteor Shower. And I will put this on our page as well if I can. Okay? Everybody have a great day. Enjoy Monday. Let's get our M up. Monday. Bye, everybody.